So I'm sitting here in my Dremel room, kind of having a Debbie Downer day, a Geordie Downer day. Not feeling sorry for myself, not sad, just kind of meh. Don't know what I want to do. I do know I want to go to Costco, buy some stuff, but Costco's a lot of money, so kind of avoid that. This is a piece of willow from the tree they cut down. It's a branch from a branch they cut down where I do the chainsaw carving. You can see I got a face tucked in there, kind of like screaming, trapped in hell. It's not like based on hell because I'm an angry person or anything like that, just because it's nice to do different things once in a while. Then this guy, you can see I got his top teeth up there, and that one I have the top teeth up there too. This skull is not really working for me. The bottom face is cool, top face is cool. The bottom skull, the middle skull is not cool. You kind of see I haven't done his teeth yet, but he's got a tongue there. The eyes aren't perfect. There's just carved Rob side view, lots of depth. So what I'm going to do on this video, I just said to myself, I'm kind of sitting here, kind of like, well, carving it. And I says, well, why don't I try and make a video, because I haven't done Dremel videos recently, to try and how to make this better. What can we do to make this piece better? Well, the first thing we can do is probably put it aside and let it dry, because you guys can see how fuzzy this is because it's still wet. This stuff is fuzzy too when it's dry, but not as fuzzy as basswood. Like there, that's because it's so wet. So, but what I'm going to do quickly is, I think for this skull, I still have lots of depth. Well, not lots, but I have enough depth. Not really here though, to carve it out. Carve something else in there. I think what I'm going to do is remove this tongue and this bottom jaw and see how it can look there. And I'm going to film carving it out. I got the the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr on there. Anybody wants to get these burrs, just go to the description below. It will take you to the Kutzall site. If you're going to get into wood carving, get yourself better burrs than just the standard Dremel burrs. See this burr here? It's got like little spikes on it. This sucker is the ripper of the wood, and it removes a lot of wood fast. Unless it's wet. When you carve wet wood, you're going to plug these burrs up. And, well, they plug up, and then they don't carve very well, and that's how you could ruin them. This wood doesn't plug this up. But let's remove this silly stuff right here. It just looks a bit too silly for me. Okay, I did some more carving. I think I fixed up the skull. Quickly carved some teeth in there. I've never been good at the bottom jaw, so that's why I just took it away, made it look better. It's still funny looking, but that's okay. I like this guy down here. I even used the Kutzall gold burr. It's super fine. The flame gold burr. If you look here, the wood's still fuzzy. So what I suggest for the very beginning carvers, if you're carving fuzzy wood with these types of burrs, these burrs are the Typhoons or the Sabertooth, put your piece aside, let it dry out, and then it won't be so fuzzy like this down here, okay? And your burrs won't plug up. So what I'm going to do, how do you fix the problem of carving wet wood? Well, you get a dry piece of wood. You carve something dry. Put this aside, let it dry for a month or two. I will finish the video on this. We'll do some details on everything in here. I like this piece now. This face, I think, is cool. And another thing I want to talk about too. Oh boy, I'm talking too much. Can't breathe. Finding your own style. You know, I've been carving for, I think, 5-6 years now. I'm just like this kind of stuff right here, this Woodspirit. Sorry, I don't know what happened to my microphone. This thing's screwed up. It pisses me off. This face bleeding into other things is my style, right? That's the Carving Fusion style. You guys will, for the very beginners, like, I'm not a very good artist, and the more that I do the faces and the skulls and stuff like that, the better that I'll get. The more that I practice the bottom jaws on the skulls, I'll get better. This is a little one that Larry Dibbs bought me. And it gives you, so if you want to carve skulls, get yourself a cheap little skull. This one's not cheap. This one was actually expensive from Opus Arts. But get yourself a little fake skull and look at that when you're carving the skull. That's my problem. I don't do that enough, and I go too fast. But find your own style, and don't, if you look at pictures online of other people's style, well, you're going to have a real problem finding your own style, because you're going to look at theirs. Like if I look at professional chainsaw carvers, or even Dremel carvers or knife carvers, wood spirits, and they look like real people, I look at my stuff and I think it's just absolutely crap. But it's my style. It's a unique style. Find your unique style, and that's when you can start seeing progress and being happy. And when my style, Spike, hi Spike, shout out to Spike there. When I carve heavy hands, fast, crazy, wild, and I just let my mind go and let my mind be free, that's when I carve the best. When I try to carve something, I get frustrated. Like, say if I try to carve a realistic skull, if I want it to look like this, I get frustrated, and I just can't do it. And that's stuff that I'll do on my own time, because you have to go really a lot slower. But what I'm gonna do on this piece, because I know this is like 8 inches wide or something. This piece of bark, it's pretty thick too. This is one of my last big pieces that I have. The dinosaur bark. I'm going to try and recreate a face like this and one like that up. See how that guy's tucked in there? I'm going to create a bunch of faces, and I'm going to go Carving Fusion freestyle, right? But let's draw this face on. You see it's kind of tilted on an angle that kind of comes this way, right? So let's do it. Another good tip for the very beginners, if you're not very good at carving the wood spirit faces, carve some flowers on the outside of it too, to kind of disguise the face so much so it's not just the face. So when somebody's looking at the piece, they won't see a face, and they won't be like, well, that's not a very good face. Wood spirits can be whatever you want them to be. So like if you're a very beginning carver, carve your wood spirit in, and then carve stuff on the outside of it to get the people's eyes off the wood spirit, get their eyes wandering around the whole piece so they're not just focused on that face. I don't know, it's just a bit of advice. So let's see here. It's good to have different color pens so you can do your first, or use a pencil. So I don't care how long this video is either. So you got your pencil mark there. Then you can erase it if you want. You can be sure you draw it on good first, right? So we're just going to use a pen. I'm kind of getting carried away here talking too fast. So there's our eyebrows. See how it's not straight? It's on a slant. And whoop, there will be our nose. And this, I'm not trying to carve a real face looking here. This is a wood spirit. It's going to turn out. Yes, I'm going to try and make it look somewhat real, like with the eyes and stuff. So there, you see, here's straight. This one's on an angle. Now, I think of when I do a face on an angle. Sorry, I'm probably breathing into the microphone. Slow down, Jory. Stand by. I'm going to have a sip of coffee. So this face is angled this way. So you got to think of gravity. So which way would the beard go? So the beard would kind of come straight down. So I just kind of roll it over and bring it straight down, kind of like that. Same with this one. Just to give it different flow. Now the mouth. The nose and stuff's aimed that way, so you can go like this with the mouth, and we can carve like a thing up there later. Let's make it flow nice. Now, the side of the face, wherever you want to put it. It's an open canvas. It's a total open ball field. There's no players on the field yet. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just an open canvas. It's an all experiment. You know, we'll just carve our eyes on this way. We can draw them on like this if we want. Carve them in that like that. So, and then his bottom lip, like even this might be wider once I start carving, right? I'll decide because I'm gonna do carving fusion freestyle here, and I'm just gonna give her. That's what I'm gonna do. But so carving the faces for the very beginner wood spirit, we'll kind of call this a beginner wood spirit video. From here to here is the deepest part you're gonna carve this on both sides. I don't care what anybody says. I really don't care. It's how I learned. Right in there. Those two are deep areas. Then you're going to carve below this nose deep too. You can keep carving deeper and deeper and deeper. If you make a mistake, carve it deeper. Who cares how far that nose sticks off the face, right? Like, so now what I'm going to do is, well, I got my Kutzall Extreme. Is this Kutzall? Yep. Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr on here. Like I said earlier in the video, this one's kind of plugged up a little bit. And another thing too, people are like, oh no, you got to soak these things. The best thing to do for these burrs when they get plugged up like this is soak them overnight in some kind of solution. Oh, I don't have time for that shit, all right? I got a little wire brush here. It's wire. They say to use copper. I don't care. I use wire. Where's my foot pedal? There, your burr's clean. It might make it a little bit duller. Who cares? Clean the burr, carry on. You can burn it too. Kutzall suggests that you burn the wood out of there. But anyways, let's start carving here. I gotta put dust mask on. Oh, actually, the table, and we're gonna block out this space first, and then I'll do crazy heavy hand stuff. Okay, so now you're going to hear me talking with a different microphone. This is noise reduction. 3, 2, 1, ignite the fan. So I'm going to lightly carve across these eyebrows first. Oops, wrong pedal. Get out of there, pedal. Okay. Now the nose. So what we're basically doing right now is outlining our piece. And see how I cut on, see how the lines here, I cut wide on the line. It's always better to cut wider than thinner, because you can always remove the wood. It's harder to add the wood. Okay, now I'm trying to do this so you guys can understand and follow along. Now let's cut a little bit deeper on each side where I said earlier, right in there. And this cottonwood bark it's really dusty, but it's so soft to carve. Now let's cut below the nose. Okay, now we're going to, see in there? Now we're going to remove below the nose on the mustache. We'll have to redraw everything back in here. And remove the wood so it's like a slow uphill. Okay. See that? So I just didn't do a cut there. I'm removing lots of this wood back here too. I think that's probably good enough. All right. So let's remove some of this wood underneath the eyes and along here. So this guy's got a super thick nose compared to the size of the face. You can always, I cut it in wider, you can always make it thinner, right? So now let's take the bridge of this nose down. Let's take these eyes back farther, okay? Then we'll take the bridge of the nose, slope the nose, bridge of the nose back. Okay, now let's slope the nose back. Cut beside the nose on both sides. Like do a cut here, and do a cut here. Then remove the wood, and that will get the bridge of your nose to pop out more. Okay, spin it. I can hear, yep, this nose is going to bust off. I can hear it. When I'm carving it, I can hear it sounds like it's rattling. Like right here, watch this. So that's a good indicator. That's a good indicator because there was a crack all the way through here. That crack goes all the way through that nose too. Now I bet you if I pull on this nose, I can bust it right off. Sometimes it's better to take it off, break it off, and deal with it. I can see where it's cracked right under here. And deal with it now. So let me, watch this. I got to carve a little bit deeper. Okay, now watch this. 3, 2, 1. I could hear it in the wood. So now there's a good chance that that crack is going to go all the way through there too. All the way up here in the eyebrows. So let's see here. We're going to have to carve way deeper in this piece. Where's a flathead screwdriver? This is the problem you get with cottonwood bark sometimes. Yep, I can see it. Problem you get with cottonwood bark sometimes. Look at that. Boom. So now what I could do is I could glue this nose on. Then the nose is already sticking farthest off the face. Let me let's see here. What you don't want to sand this, or you don't want to sand this. You want to leave it exactly the same patterns that they already are, the grain patterns. So I think somebody just emailed me actually asking how, because their nose broke off, or they glued their nose on a birdhouse. They glued their nose on a birdhouse and they could see the line where they glued it. But, you know, we'll try our best to hide that. So I think what I'm going to do is, should I use super glue or should I use 5-minute epoxy? But we're going to put this nose back on. Okay, so I don't have 5-minute epoxy here. So this is the STARBOND glue. It's basically super glue. I am affiliated of these guys too. There is a code to use down below. I think you might save 10%. So this is the thin stuff. You can buy it thin, medium, thick. You can buy it brown. You can buy it black, thin, medium, thick. You can buy medium, thick stuff. And this is accelerator. So sometimes using this accelerator makes the stuff bubble, but who knows. So what I do, good thing that they send you extra lids and caps too. So what I do is I put the stuff on one piece, like I'll put the glue on one side, then I'll spray the accelerator on this side, put it in there, hold it in place, and let it dry. You can use a wood clamp if you want. So it's going to make a bit of a mess,
it's okay, but you got to make sure that you get all the surfaces. We're going to carve all that away where you see it all dripping down the side there. Okay, spray the accelerator on here. Don't get your finger, see it, the accelerator working there, making it bubbly. Don't get your finger on there, you could burn it. I actually burnt my finger with super glue before in this accelerator. So we'll give it a good few minutes to, yeah, like, we need still smoking, you can see it. We need to get some more in here. And just hold it down and let it, I can hear it popping and crackling and stuff. So give it a good 10 minutes now, and then we'll recarve this nose on. I didn't get it on exact same place, but I'm going to carve this nose thinner anyways. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes. Everything's dry. You can see there that the accelerator does make it bubbly sometimes. So now we got to carve this nose on thinner too. And we also want to bring our mustache over on the sides, more coming off the sides. But we could pause. So let's put a center line on here. Make this nose thinner. It's that easy to make a thinner nose, you know, like it's not that hard. It's easier to make a thinner nose than it is to make a thicker nose. And then we got to recarve that eye in there and drop it. Is this going to break off here? Hope not. Nope, that's good. So all the shaly wood's gone. And you'll get problems like this. It's not a piece of paper where the paper's perfect. Wood, there's always, you can find some rot inside the wood. Sometimes you might even find a bug inside the wood. So what we're going to do is we're going to carve this nose thinner, make this mustache branch off more to the side, and carry on. Oops, I got to change burr. Okay. So you guys can still see that glue in there. It's because it wasn't pushed down. The nose wasn't pushed tight enough to give you that. And don't forget, we're carving this on an angle like that, so then you will see the glue. It's okay though, because I'm going to do a spit test. And sometimes you can hide that. We're going to paint this. I'm going to paint this whole piece after anyway, so I'm not really too worried about the glue. So I think I'm getting a bit carried away here. So how about we turn this rest of this, if there's any crucial, you can see how there I made the nose smaller, how I fixed the nose, how I blocked it out. Here's a side view. Now the nose is sticking farthest off the face. That doesn't really matter. And I'm going to start carving fast and heavy now, and we'll get this face, it's not as sloped as much as it's not as sloped as much as I wanted it to be. We can still make that adjustment. You just have to. carve the eyes in higher and slope them more, right? So I don't know if you guys can hear that, but you can hear like a rattling sound. So if the wood broke off there, it's probably going to break off here too, right? Below the nose. Can you guys hear that? I think it's okay. So let's just put let's deal with our bottom lip. So this guy's face is angled this way. Will it work this way or work this way? Let's do this way. Who cares? Let's give this guy some character. Okay, so our bottom lip, let's see here. Give this guy some teeth. Then our bottom lip will be down here. There goes that piece that broke off. It's good to remember. Okay, so I know I'm getting carried away here because, well, this video is going to be getting long. I don't care how long, but we don't want it to be too long. You guys will get bored. But you can see here. So his face is kind of crooked, but not crooked. But I always make his teeth straight with the nose. So let's see. Here's his teeth in here. So that will be his teeth there. We can take more of this off later if we want to. Let's do that right now so it's easier for you guys to see what's going on. So there's his teeth, mustache, teeth, bottom lip hanging down that way. So let's just start. Heavy hands in it. Time lapse, carving up. Carving Fusion time lapse coming up.
So as I was saying in the beginning of this video, I'm just kind of having one of those meh days, Debbie Downer day. And I just took a break from carving. I'm going to show you guys the carving in a minute. But I was checking my Facebook messages and my emails and stuff like that. And I got something just, just cracks me up. It's from Matt Davis. Here's a shout out to you, Matt Davies, sorry. Matt Davies in the UK. You guys check out this picture he just sent me. It's of the bird thing, the thingy bird. He's watching TV and he's seen them on the National Geographic, so I guess they're not extinct. I guess I didn't invent them. The thingy birds. So that thing was really cracking me up. It cracks me up. So thanks for that, Matt. I needed that today. It's funny. It's funny as hell. Okay, so here's the carving. So this kind of mood I'm today. Mood I'm in today. This guy's kind of like not hell, but he's like burning through swoosh lines, and I carved this other wood spirit down here just to kind of get the different kind of focus on different piece. Oh boy, Jordy. I just carved this wood spirit down here fast. So that's kind of Jordy freehand. And you see I just kind of made it so his eyes carved out. Who cares? Like I said, I'm not trying to create wizards or anything like that. And from the lip, I get this idea from Kevin over there at Sticks and Stones. He's really good at doing facial expressions. If you guys want to watch his videos, if you're not subscribed to him. So, but there's a total carving fusion giver free for all. So now we got this, because this is good. Okay, I don't need to carve down here, but this needs to be carved up here. So I'm thinking like another face, but the face totally tilting that way and kind of blowing away with the swoosh lines, like whoosh. So eyebrows, the nose this way, and it's whoo, just kind of keep the piece flowing. I think it's cool. This is my style. I like it. Anyways, let's get rid of this one out of the scene, and we're gonna set up this, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to block out the nose and the eyebrows. And after you guys can get those eyebrows to pop off and that nose to pop off, here's just carver upside view. Once you get that nose to pop off and the eyebrows, you can carve any type of face you want. And sooner or later, you're going to get good enough to be able to find your own style. You know, when I was taking a little break, I thought about it and how I'd explain it. It's called breaking through. I'm close with Dremel carving, breaking through to the style. Well, this is like I broke through to things I want to create. So eventually, the more that you get used to those hand tools and the tools, it's important to get used to the tools too, right? And the different types of burrs and what they do. This is all just carved with this flame burr. This is a multi-purpose burr. You can use the little tip or you can use the wide angle. I haven't done anything else yet with this thing. Even that eye, I carved it with this, just with the tip. And it's not a complicated eye, but you can see. It shows it's an eye, right? It's nothing crazy. Well, these teeth are maybe a little bit too big. We'll cut these down later. But let's put that whoosh spirit in the top too. And I'm going to block out the eyes and the nose, the eyebrows and the nose again. So for you very beginners, you might be able to figure it out. But first of all, I got to show you this picture of the thingy birds again. It just cracks me up. You know, I still got a lot of people saying, well, why don't you start carving other things besides the faces? Well, I do when I want. When I want to carve the face, when I don't know what I'm going to carve, that's when I carve the faces. So I wonder if this piece is going to break off. It's always good to look at the end grain here, see if it's going to break off again. We'll have to take a chance on it. This piece will come off. So we want this face to be like this. Here's our center line. So we'll give this guy this. I want it to be like a silhouette of a face. I don't even really want it to be a face, but I want you to be able to see the eyebrows and the nose. So then that will give off the impression that it is a face. So I'm going to carve it really simple. And I'm going to put it on my other microphone. We're going to carve across here. We're going to cut around the nose. We're going to do it different this time. I'm going to fast carve, and then we'll show you how to get this nose to pop off and the eyebrows to pop off. You just need to carve around here. There's so many different ways you can do it every time. Stand by. Okay, once again, I switched back to my noise reduction microphone, and the other microphone that I use is Toast. This was just stuck in my phone, so that's what plugs into your phone. So anyways, let's do this. Let's turn the fan on. I'm going to cut across the eyebrows. Okay, I'm going to cut around the nose. Okay. Now I'm going to remove some of this wood below the eyebrows. And just bring it down.
See, that's it. Once you do that, you can do anything. You don't even have to do a beard. So we need to slope that nose back, though. You can see it's still need to, let's take it down a bit. Okay, we'll give him some eyebrows. You can see this wood's chipping off here. Split the eyebrows. So there's our nose popped off, and we got some eyebrows there. That's all you need. So, whoosh, let's see how we're going to do this. Like I said, let's do a time lapse so I can get into Geordie land and carve super fast and heavy and blend everything together. Carver Fusion time lapse, take 2. Okay, well, that didn't last that long. So look at this. Yep, too bad I was filming in time lapse. You guys could have seen it actually happen in real time. So this is unrepairable. I would have to buy a new metal shaft that goes inside your flex shaft, but I'll still keep this for parts. Yeah, it broke right inside there. There's some heavy hands for you. But luckily, Mr. Grass sent me a brand new Dremel flex shaft in the box. And he sent me the Dremel 4000 too, because that's what I use, the Dremel 4000 with the Dremel flex shaft. So we're going to have to hook this up, and I got to get this burr out of here, but I got like another 6 more of these flame burrs anyways. Okay, so since I'm going to call this a beginner carving video, whatever I name it, here's the new flex shaft. Now, if you look at this inner flex shaft, this thing is, here's the inner shaft, right, that slides inside here. I pulled it out a bit. This thing is just caked with grease. I don't care what anybody says, all right? This is how I do it. This thing has so much grease in it, it's going to heat up your handpiece. All right, that's the whole thing. These handpieces get too hot. They get too much grease in the handpieces, and then they heat up. So what happens is you spin this. I got my Dremel hanging up higher. You spin this. This grease heats up, and it melts down inside the handpiece, and it heats up the handpieces. So what I do is I pull this whole thing out. I'm not going to be able to show it all on camera, but I get a rag, and I don't care. Dremel can say whatever they want. Anybody can say whatever they want. I take grease out of it. My hand pieces always work. Here's just a rag, and I'm wiping it. I'm wiping all the grease off it. All my hand pieces never heat up because they have less grease. Some of you might say, well, you don't have, so I wiped all the grease off here now. Okay. Some of you might be like, well, that's why your piece broke. My piece broke at the shaft, at the very tip. There should be no grease there anyways. Now there's still grease inside this sheath when you put it back in. So that's all I do. Now when you get a brand new, watch, if I pull this out, there'll be more grease on it. Now what I do, well, Dremel suggests to do, is you hook your flex shaft up to your Dremel, and then you hang this up. I hang it up, and I hang the Dremel down, and I run it for 5 minutes, because you need to break this flex shaft in here, and you need to break everything in the grease and the bearings inside this handpiece. I don't hang this down, because if you hang your Dremel higher and this is down, all the grease is going to go down into your handpiece. So hold this up higher, hold your Dremel down lower, and run it for a good, 3 to 5 minutes at full speed. And then you're off to the races. You got to break them in. So this Dremel 4000, I run this with a foot pedal. I hate turning it on and off manually. The foot pedal, you guys can just get a cheap one from Amazon, on and off foot pedal. Speed control doesn't work with Dremels anymore. So I just hooked it up. It's running super slow. You're going to hear it speed up. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hang the Dremel down and then the handpiece up and then get it all broke in. Okay, there we go. We're good to go. Back to carving. Thanks again, Gross. The picture just cracks me up. It almost this, I laugh at things most people don't laugh at, and I'm not laughing at it just because I did that carving, but just silly things like that really cracked me up. So that's going to be it for this one, everybody. With the hold on a second, let me put my cigarette out. Shout out to Studio on the Lake, Ben. We're still waiting for that whale challenge. If you look at the eye there, oh, also look at the nose. See the bubbles in there from that glue? I should have just used, but I didn't have any of that 5-minute epoxy. Basically, can see how much I did sand this piece quickly too. See the eye there? I just carved it quickly, and I just did some highlightings with this diamond burr. If we can get it to zoom in, and it does burning pretty good too. So there's my burrs, my little burr stand. I like this burr stand like this because they can go all the way through, and then the dust doesn't get clogged up in the holes. Because if you just drill it a little bit, the dust will get in there, and then your burr won't sit in there. But if you carve it all the way through, see, the dust just falls through the holes. Have fun. I hope you've been able to learn something on this video. Like I say at the very beginning of the video, if you got wet wood, put it aside, let it dry out. Take the bark off where you want to carve. That's what I did. I let it dry for 2 weeks. It still wasn't dry enough, so now I'm going to let this really dry out, get rid of these fuzzies. Then I'm going to put some crazy details in these faces and stuff like that. And then there's a face up here too. See it up there? See the nose? Then carve some eyes deep in there just to give it something else. I like it. Those lines and stuff are simple to do, but it's my favorite thing to do is this nice smooth, try and blend everything in nice together. So you've learned how to hook up your Dremel flex shaft, how to break things, how to screw up things, how to break your headphones, and have a good time. That's what it's about. Carving Fusion. Over and out. Hey, that's what it's about. Carving Fusion. Over and out.